It seems to be Donald Trump's playbook: offer a glimmer of hope and then snatch it away. After the U.S. Commerce Secretary hinted there might be a middle ground settlement to be found in the Canada-U.S. trade war, we learned today there was no deal to be had. Kevin Green explains.
In a conversation with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, Donald Trump stuck to his playbook, saying fentanyl is the issue, Canada hasn't done enough, and the tariffs will remain. In a lengthy posting on Truth Social recapping the phone call, Trump said, "Nothing has convinced me that it has stopped. He said it's gotten better, but I said that's not good enough." Shortly after, Trump's fentanyl falsehood was parroted by his press secretary.
The call ended in a somewhat friendly manner, as the president said, but he's not going to stop standing up for the American people.
That means with the exception of a 1-month pause for the auto industry, the U.S. tariffs remain, and so do the Canadian counter tariffs.
It's not true that we will go through this psychodrama every 30 days. So our goal is to make sure that we're having conversations to bring back much more certainty.
The beef industry says it could be crippling. 20% of Canadian cattle are processed in the USA. Cattle feeders will feel the hit first and feel it hard.
Quick numbers, in a week you're $10 to $12 million directly out of the pockets of a feedlot producer in Alberta. Bigger picture, that gets very scary for the overall economic standpoint of the whole industry.
Many small businesses like the Friday Sock Company are also concerned not just because of the financial implications, but because of the perception by American consumers of Canadian goods.
So even if we discount, there could be an overarching theme that buying from Canada might not be a great thing, and that's what's more painful than the actual economic impacts right away.
But for some companies, the tariffs are actually good news. Vresh Nagarajan owns Fresh Foods and makes OG ghee. Unlike his chief competitors, all his inputs are Canadian. As a result, he won't face tariffs. Well, they will. He says his upscale product with upscale prices will now cost the same as others or less.
Before, we were primarily a premium option that was 10 to 15% higher. Now, by doing nothing, we're going to be in that same 5 to 15% more economical.
And Kevin joins us now. So Kevin, we're now hearing there may be a tariff exemption for agriculture.
Another glimmer of hope, Terry. Late this afternoon, the U.S. Secretary of Agriculture said she's hopeful that there could be some relief in that sector. In particular, they're looking at fertilizers and especially potash. The U.S. imports about 90% of the potash it uses. The vast majority of that, about 75% of it, comes from Canada, and you can't grow crops without it. States with strong agricultural economies have been lobbying the U.S. administration for these carve-outs, but it might not just be fertilizers that they're talking about carving out. The U.S. Secretary of Agriculture has said when it comes to her department, everything remains on the table. Back to you.
Interesting. Okay, Kevin, thank you for that.